I work at a wildlife sanctuary outside Sydney. An American couple arrived for our bushwalk tour, both wearing full camouflage gear and hiking boots that looked fresh from the box. Before we started, the husband pulled out a canister of bear spray. "Just in case," he said, clipping it to his belt. I told him we don't have bears in Australia. He nodded knowingly. "Right, but you've got drop bears." I explained drop bears are a joke locals tell tourists. He wasn't buying it. My buddy served with an Australian guy in the Navy. He warned him about them. Said they fall from trees and attack your head. His wife added, "We read online they're like koalas, but aggressive." I clarified that koalas aren't aggressive and drop bears aren't real. He tapped his bear spray. "Better safe than sorry. This works on all bears." Started the tour. 10 minutes in, a kookaburra laughed in a tree above us. He grabbed his wife and pulled her back, raising the bear spray toward the bird. "What is that?" "A kookaburra." "It's a bird? Why is it screaming?" "That's how it sounds." "It's laughing." Kept the spray aimed up. "Laughing at what?" If you're already noticing how deep I go into these cultural reactions, not the surface level memes, but the psychology underneath this is the level I bring every week. If that distinction matters to you, you know where to stay? Connected an American tourist? Asked our Tokyo konbini for a real bathroom. Refusing to use our facilities because Japanese toilets spray you. I explained. Ours were standard Western toilets. She said, "Then why are there so many buttons?" I told her the buttons were optional features. She insisted every toilet she'd seen in Japan attacked her. I showed her ours had a regular seat. She made me watch the door while she went in. She came out dry. She seemed disappointed. At a cafe in Copenhagen, an American complained his cappuccino was too small. I told him it was a standard cup. He said, "In America, small means 16 ounces. This is like 8. Explained Danish portions differ. He demanded we remake it in a proper American small. We don't have American sizes. He took a photo, said he'd post it on social media so people know. He left a 2-star review, calling it false advertising. Australians don't do fear the way Americans expect. We just live with things that want to kill us. A guest at our Melbourne hotel called the front desk at midnight, claiming a deadly spider was in his room. I grabbed the relocation kit and headed up. He was standing on the bed, pointing at the wall. It was a huntsman. Harmless, common, actually helpful because they eat worse things. I reached for it. He shouted, "Don't touch it with your bare hands." I picked it up. It sat calmly in my palm, legs dangling. I explained huntsmans don't bite unless you squeeze them, and even then it barely hurts. He stared. "You're insane. That thing is huge. They get bigger, bigger. Twice this size, sometimes." He grabbed his phone and backed toward the door. "I'm recording this for evidence. When you die, they'll know why." I walked to the window, released it outside, and closed the screen. He didn't move from the doorframe. "It's gone. You're safe. Safe. It knows where I am now. It'll come back with others." I told him spiders don't form revenge squads. He requested a room change. We moved him to the 4th floor. He asked if spiders could climb that high. I said yes. He checked out 2 days early. An American family visited our Queensland beach and refused to enter the water. The father saw the stinger nets and demanded to know what they're protecting us from. Explained box jellyfish during certain seasons. He shook his head. "If the ocean is trying to kill you, why do you swim in it?" I said, "It's safe inside the nets." He pointed past them. "What about out there?" "Don't swim out there." "But what if you do? Then you might die." He looked at me like I'd confessed to murder. "And you're okay with this?" "We just don't swim outside the nets," his teenage son asked. "What if a jellyfish gets inside?" "They check the nets." "But what if they miss one?" "They don't." The father wasn't convinced. "In America, we drain the ocean or relocate the jellyfish. We don't just accept death zones." I told him that wasn't feasible. He muttered something about Australian government incompetence and set up their towels near the parking lot. They didn't swim. They watched other families in the water like they were. Witnessing mass delusion. If you're catching the pattern, here's the gap between perceived danger and actual risk. You're already thinking on a different level than most viewers. I break down these cultural misunderstandings every week, but only the people who stay tapped in actually see them when they drop before leaving. He asked where the safe beach was. I said this was it. He took his family to the hotel pool. I worked at a reptile park near Darwin. An American joined our crocodile tour and interrupted within 5 minutes. How do you know they won't escape? I explained the enclosures are engineered specifically for saltwater crocs, reinforced barriers. Proper depth, constant monitoring, but they're strong, right? Very, so they could break out. They haven't. He wasn't satisfied. But theoretically they could. Theoretically a lot of things could happen. So yes, no, they're secure. He took photos of the barriers, zooming in on the seams. I'm just saying, in America, we'd have backup systems. Electric fences, tranquilizer stations, armed guards. I told him we have protocols. He pointed at our guide, who was holding a chicken to feed the crocs. That guy's got a chicken and a stick. If a croc gets out, what's he gonna do? They don't get out, but if they did, we'd handle it. How? Professionally. He stepped back from the railing. I'm staying near the exit. You people are too casual about dinosaurs. A tourist from Texas visited our sanctuary and pointed at a kangaroo. Why isn't it in a cage? I explained they roam freely here, it's a natural habitat setup. He frowned. What if it attacks someone? Kangaroos don't typically attack unless provoked. Typically, so sometimes they do. If you corner them or threaten them, yes. He watched one hopping near the path. The thing's got claws and kicks like a mule. You're telling me it's just wandering around kids? They're calm if you leave them alone. He pulled his daughter closer. In Texas, if something can kill you, we don't let it walk free near tourists. We'd have it sedated or behind glass. I told him kangaroos are gentle. He disagreed. I've seen videos. They drown dogs and fight people. It's only when defending themselves. Exactly. So they're dangerous, not if you respect their space. He didn't approach any kangaroos. He took photos from 20 feet away with full zoom. Before he left, he asked if we ever lose anyone to them. He said no. He said, yet, a woman from Florida booked our snake handling experience, then changed her mind when she saw the python. That's a constrictor. It could crush me. I explained it was a trained carpet python, non-venomous, accustomed to people. She shook her head. Snakes don't get trained. They're reptiles. Pure instinct. They recognize handlers and stay calm with proper support. Support? It's a predator, I demonstrated, draping it across my shoulders. It barely moved. She took 3 steps back. Just because it's not killing you right now doesn't mean it won't. It's been handled thousands of times. Snakes snap. I watched a documentary. I offered to let her touch it briefly, just 1 finger on the scales. She refused. I don't trust things without eyelids. They don't blink. That means they're always plotting. She watched from the corner while others held the snake. When someone laughed because it tickled, she said, "That's nervous laughter." They're terrified. Nobody was terrified. She left early and posted that we pressure tourists into dangerous stunts for social media. We don't have social media accounts. An American man arrived for our wildlife photography tour wearing a full-body mosquito net and gloves. I asked if he had allergies. He said no. I just don't take chances with foreign bugs. I told him our mosquitoes are normal. He disagreed. Everything in Australia is extreme. Your mosquitoes probably carry diseases we don't have immunity to. We have standard precautions. Repellent works fine. Repellent isn't a guarantee. He kept the netting on. We walked through the bush for an hour. He complained he couldn't get clear photos through the mesh. One suggested removing it. He refused. Then he saw a magpie. Is that a crow? Magpie. Are they aggressive? During nesting season, some are protective. It's staring at me. It's curious. The magpie hopped closer. He panicked and swatted at it through the netting. The bird squawked and flew off. He turned to me, triumphant. See. Aggressive. I told you. I explained. He startled it by flailing. He didn't agree. Birds that dive bomb people are hostile. In America, we'd classify that as a public threat. The magpie hadn't dive bombed anyone, it hopped. He spent the rest of the tour watching the sky, convinced magpies were coordinating an attack. None came near him. He said it was because they sensed his defenses. It was because he looked ridiculous and they avoided him. Our sanctuary hosted an American school group. Their teacher asked if we had safety demonstrations before the tour. I explained, we brief everyone on respectful behavior around animals. No sudden movements. No loud noises. Keep distance, she interrupted. What about emergency exits? Emergency exits. In case of an animal attack, I told her we've never had an animal attack. She wasn't reassured. Statistically, that means you're due for one. We started the tour. At the emu enclosure, a student asked if emus were dangerous. I said they're mostly curious but can be territorial if you invade their space. The teacher stopped the group. So they are dangerous. They can be, if mishandled. What's the protocol if one charges? Back away calmly. Don't run, and if that doesn't work, it will. But what if it doesn't? Then staff intervene. How? We redirect them. She looked at me like I'd said we'd politely ask the emu to stop. You redirect a charging emu. Yes. With what? Experience. She made the students stay 15 feet from the fence. An emu wandered over, poked its head toward them. One kid reached out to wave. She yanked him back. Do not engage the emu. The emu lost interest and walked away. She gathered the group. That was a close call. Everyone stay together. Nothing had happened. The emu looked at them. That was it. Before they left, she asked for incident reports from the past year. I told her we don't have incidents. She requested them anyway for the school's records. Don't generate reports that don't exist. She said that was concerning and suggested we implement American safety standards. I thanked her for the feedback. She left a review saying we lack proper emergency protocols and endanger children by allowing wild animals near them. The animals live here. The children visited for an hour. Americans arrive expecting Australia to be survivable, only with tactical gear and detailed evacuation plans. We just wear sunscreen and watch where we step. Most of our wildlife wants nothing to do with humans. The rest, we've learned to coexist with. But try explaining that to someone clutching bear spray in a country without bears. They'll trust the spray over decades of locals surviving just fine. That's the real wildlife here, confident tourists who think fear is preparation. Maybe next time, someone will ask how Australians actually live here, instead of assuming we're all in constant danger. Until then, I'll keep relocating huntsmans and assuring people that magpies aren't forming alliances. The kookaburras will keep laughing. They get it.